You know what? You turn all your headphones down right now.
Oh, it's gonna stop anyway. The minute I stop this.
No, headphone won't. Headphone will still be on.
What mic are you on?
I'm on 3.
And I guess this is 1. This
One,
is 1.
2. Yeah, I'm on 3. Yeah, you on 1.
Stop that. Welcome to ATL Talks, Atlanta's #1 streaming urban talk radio station, where you can tune in right here on atltalks.com or on our app located in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. You are tuned into Keeping It Real Politically with your host, Antonio Hicks. And I have my special guest in the studio, which I don't understand why he's never been on the radio station before, because he is the owner, operator of Kluster Media, the guy that I actually work for in this radio station.
Wait, you mean, I think you allowed me to invite me. This is the first time you invite me to the show.
I don't... This man, this is his shop, so he can come in and tell me, hey, I want to talk on your show.
That's not me.
You can talk about anything that you want to talk about.
That's not me at all. That's not me at all. I'm turning my finger off my telephone. Somebody harassed me. But no, that's not me at all. Thank you for allowing me to come here.
Oh, I'm glad that you're here. I mean, because I think, so I invite you on for a special topic today, too. Well, I didn't say a special topic, just to get your interest on or how you feel about today's political climate, especially as a small business owner, and have you been paying attention to what's been going on as far as like the political arena right now before the election?
Somewhat, yes. So, I mean, I do.
So first of all, I guess, tell everybody who you are, who you are.
Hey,
I mean, because typically I already know anyway, but for my listeners.
Captain Daryl Davis, and I'm CEO of Kluster Radio Media here in Atlanta. I put my glasses on. And I forgot this is a recorded show, so I do apologize. I'm still getting ready. He said I was late to the show, and this is my fault.
He was late.
I was late. But yeah, the Captain Daryl Davis here, and CEO. I mean, been in business, this Kluster Radio Media for 10 years now. It'd be 10 years actually next year. And I got
introduced to Daryl by Darius Butler, who is running for Congress. I forget what district Darius is running in.
Yeah, I can't think of it either.
I forget it. But I know he's in my parents' district. And I did text him because I was like, you can go put a sign in my parents' yard.
What do you say? Is he going to do it?
He hasn't said nothing yet. I guess Darius been, I guess he's been busy.
Yeah, I mean, this campaign, this election is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it's gotten pretty hostile. Like, I mean, it's gotten really seriously hostile. So I have a candidate I've been supporting down here in, he's in my district, in House District 111, over in the Walton County, Loganville area.
Okay.
And he's running for a House seat up there. So he was out. He had people, and it was racist when I was growing up. For those that are just not listening in, because it's in the Loganville, like I said, Walton County area.
Right. And
it was racist when I'm born and raised here in Georgia. And it's now got a little bit more diverse because of everything expanding and people are moving away from the city because it's gotten too expensive. But now it's expensive in my part of town. But he's out there canvassing, and just a couple people ran him out of their yard with guns and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a question. I know this might be racist. Is it black or white?
No, the guy's black.
And they run him out of his yard?
Yeah, they ran him out of the yard. Yeah. Yeah, they were white.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, and then somebody yesterday, so those here, I think it's across the country too. So today is the first day of early voting here in Georgia.
Yeah.
And they, so he was out canvassing and just sound waving at one of the voting locations right down the street from my house. So while he was out there, this lady tried to run up on the curb and run him over.
You gotta be kidding.
No, it's still. That's why when people start talking about racism doesn't still exist, I call it a lot, because I'm like, I'm from here and I see it all the time. So I'm like, it may not exist in the bubble that you're living in, but it exists here.
It does
in the state of Georgia.
You know what? I'm from California, and I say the same thing about California.
Mm-hmm. I know it still exists in California.
It's a blue state.
Yeah,
racism is still bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still parts of Orange County I don't want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that Newport Beach and Fashion Island and a place like that. You're still not welcome there unless you got to.
No. And you have your progressive hubs here.
You do.
Like Georgia is I don't want to say it's not a blue state. It's still a purple. It's a purple state for right now.
It's like going to Cummings, Georgia. You got to think about going to Cummings, Georgia. And I've been in some places where Woodbury, Georgia, where I've been places where I've been inside certain of my jobs, that type of establishment where they wouldn't even talk to me Because even though I had the authority, they would have to talk to the white man. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the heck going on?
Welcome to Georgia.
But it's still going on.
If you go to Northwest Georgia, where Marjorie Taylor Greene's district, it's heavily racist.
Where's Northwest Georgia?
That's like if you headed towards, what is it? Not Clayton. It's up north. Head up 75 north, headed towards Tennessee, but it's towards the west side.
Okay, places like that, like Dalton.
Dalton, yeah.
Oh, I've been all over there too.
Yeah,
I've been all over those places too.
And it's still, they have some they have some little speckles of chocolate, us chocolate people up there.
Right.
But it's still not enough to make a difference. So it's still racist in her part of town. That's why I'm like, because Marcus Flowers is running against her. Uh-huh. And he's been doing good.
He had. No, I seen him on TV the other night.
He's been doing good.
He put some pressure, putting pressure on her.
Yeah. But I hope he win. But a lot of people, because how the district is, nobody believes he's going to win. But I mean, for him to have made it this far.
Yeah, I was impressed with him. I heard him speaking on some news bites the other night. I said, okay, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, they was trying to shut him out initially.
Because she was hesitant to answer those questions.
Because she don't answer serious questions.
Yeah, she couldn't deal with it. He was pressuring this woman.
It's the other thing I have about people in politics. Because everybody has their favorite candidate.
Right.
And I don't care about candidates. I care about what you do on the job, which I don't even care about parties. Like, I will say that wholeheartedly on my show. Even me being a Democrat, I still don't care about parties because I care about what the person going to do in the job itself. You
know what? Strange thing. I'm going to say this. I'm in a district here in Atlanta, Hank Johnson district. And we just literally, I had a conversation about this with one of my neighbors. I'm the HOA president in my subdivision. And she was basically saying, she don't even catch the Hank Johnson don't do SHIT.
He don't do anything.
Nothing.
He don't.
She didn't even vote for him.
Yeah.
She said she wouldn't even vote.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't even vote for him.
No. And now they don't know who is Hank Johnson. I actually ran against Hank Johnson. And the only reason I didn't get far is because he has his ride or die people.
Right.
And because he's been in political power for so long.
That's correct. And so it's so strange. We was literally, she was just talking about this. And she said, why don't you run Daryl? I was going to run for office. Mm-hmm. And I had encounters with Hank. I never met him before, but I had called, needed his help. He wasn't there. So, but yeah, she said because where we located at River Road and Flakes Mill to the busiest street and was south of DeKalb County. Yeah. And come on, we had no sidewalks there. There's no nice lamp poles.
And DeKalb is blocking y'all from becoming a city.
Right.
Because it was South DeKalb wants to become a city.
And I think
and they're trying to they're blocking it out because they need the tax dollars from South DeKalb.
Right, because they already lost Brookhaven and
you lost
Dunwoody.
Stonecrest, Decatur.
Yeah, because what's that? Perimeter Mall was their money-making mall, money-making area right there in Dunwoody. Then they lost Stonecrest Mall. They lost 2 malls. Yep. And all they got now is the defunct, basically, South DeKalb
South DeKalb is not a mall.
No, it's not.
South DeKalb is not. What is it like? It's like a flea market.
Yeah, you know what?
It's not a mall.
It's a high-end flea market because they have some stores. They have no major stores in there, but the beauty supply.
Yeah, all the anchor stores are gone.
And the DMV.
Right.
That's it.
So as a small business owner, like, what do you want to see coming from out of this year's election and the people running for office? Like, you ain't got to know the people specifically, but what are you looking for them to do?
You know what? Good question. I haven't even thought about that as a small. I guess I've been so busy, and I just start gearing up for following politicians and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Even with the Stacey Abrams and Kemp, some things I should take. I'm going to vote for Stacey Abrams. I am going to vote for people. But, some things about her I don't really care for.
I'm honest with my feelings about Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, but I'm going to vote for her just because. Yeah. I want to see her win.
Yeah, I'm going to take her over Kemp.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because Kemp is terrible. Bottom line, Kemp is terrible. And I don't care who I ask that same question, any Republican. They'll say, well, we support Kemp because Stacey is so left and she's a socialist. And I'm like, okay, well, even if you have the argument, my question has always been to anybody like that. Right. What has Kemp done for you?
Exactly. He hasn't done anything for me. Well, I have a friend live in Albany. I say Albany, Georgia, where they gave everybody in the state of Georgia with kids on welfare the Kemp cards. That's why you got to be called a Kemp card. They gave them each student, if you had any kind of Medicare, you get paid $350 per child.
Oh, the recent thing. Yeah, they started issuing the checks out.
I was kind of disappointed because why would you call this the Kemp card?
When it's not his card. Because that money has been sitting there for so long.
Right.
And the only reason he brought it out was because of election cycles and make it seem like he's actually doing something.
They've been waiting. I said, why you have a regular job? Well, my kid's on Medi-Cal, so he getting the Kemp card.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, because you got to make it below a certain income.
Yeah, but she make more than enough. But just because she getting Medi-Cal, she got the Kemp card. I said, the Kemp card, I'm like kind of disappointed. And they have the African American community calling this card the Kemp card. So Kemp done did something to them. This out there not too far from Darius, out there, Darius Brooks district where he running for office at.
And I can't say that he's doing that now.
Right.
So, and that's, again, a lot of these red states that actually voted against, what is it, what is the new bill that came out? The rescue bill that just came out. And I'm like, they voted against it, but now they're asking for money from it.
Wow.
And I'm like, they do that. But they're doing it really because it's political season.
Exactly. It is. I really feel kind of bad about all this kind of stuff and bad for our people, black folks.
Yeah.
In these cities like Albany, Leeds County,
even in Fulton.
Yeah, Fulton County, and Southwest, Old Bankhead Highway. These people, I talked to somebody, they have like 4 or 5 kids, live in the house with them, and 2 or 3 families.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's still going on.
Yeah, and I don't see any change. I really don't see any change coming your way. That's why I tell people to get involved.
Right.
And I tell them to get involved not for the sake of I want you to be knowledgeable about politics.
Right.
But if you're not seeing any change in your community, you should always be involved because people should get voted. If they're not doing anything to help you out, they should get voted out.
I used to really be active in my community by being HOA president for 18 years.
In your neighborhood?
In my neighborhood. And I don't even run anymore. And because
there's nobody stepping up to the plate. That's a hard job.
No, it is. We have a pretty nice subdivision with 238 houses.
Do you have a third party person managing the money?
No.
You manage the money?
Yes.
No, I couldn't. I don't manage. I couldn't manage the money.
We have an older gentleman. He is 90 years old, and he's our treasurer. He's really strict. I put things in place to manage the checking account where 3 people have to see what's going on at all time. But we have a CD. We have a money market account. We never touch the money in 20 years. That CD and money market account. We keep a certain amount of money, big money in our account. I actually go to subdivisions and teaching them how to do it themselves rather than paying these third parties to manage their book.
Yeah, because I don't like the third party people. First of all, I don't really care for HOAs because I used to be the vice president of one of my HOAs in one of my
I shouldn't say it's a hard job. And I make it seem like easy. We don't have meetings anymore. Very seldom.
Why don't you have meetings?
I'm too busy.
They can still have a meeting without you.
They don't. They won't hear. Most people hear from the president, so they don't really have meetings without me.
Well, what is the vice president doing?
She's an older woman.
Okay.
And I'm not saying anything wrong with older people at all.
I like seasoned people.
Yeah, I should say that's the change where she's a seasoned individual.
And
everything is going well in the community. They like that. That's why they say, hey, let's let Daryl do it. And
but how old is she then?
She up there in age as well.
So she can't host a meeting by herself.
Well, they probably can, but they always need Daryl. I don't know why. But then again,
because you're young.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I hear the same thing because I'm the vice president or the second vice president in the Atlanta Caribbean Lions Club.
Okay.
And whenever we go to meetings, it's always seasoned people. And they say we're the youngest club in the state.
I was like, we had a River Road Coalition. Along River Road, if you guys know about River Road, south of Cab, it has hundreds of subdivisions up along that River Road corridor. And we started the River Road Coalition years ago. And I'm like the VP of that coalition as well. Okay. At one time, they stopped it, but I need to bring it back. Go after people like, Hank, is his name Hank Johnson?
It's Hank Johnson.
Hank Johnson, some of those city council members who's not doing anything for our neighborhood. Nothing. Up along Wesley Chapel and Flakes Mill, these people are not doing anything for this community. That's where all the subdivisions are in South DeKalb County.
And around Snapfinger. The Snapfinger golf course that was over there.
All those big houses.
Yeah.
You got Thurgood Estates back there. You heard of Thurgood Estates?
Yeah.
All these big subdivisions, and this is what we get, nothing. No sidewalks.
We don't, but why do people keep voting for them?
Because it's all about name. Well, it's okay. I'm not.
Because you've been here for how long?
I've been in my house for 20 years, so South DeKalb County.
So how many times you voted for Hank?
But then I woke up today.
So I gotta ask, how many times you voted for Hank?
You know what? I don't even know because I think I got kind of
every single time.
But it won't happen again. My friend said she seen him punch his name this time. She said just ignore him.
Yeah, because he doesn't. It's not just him though. Because you got the local city people too.
Right.
that I have issue with.
Okay.
And, I mean, you only have a couple of them. Like, what's her name? I love her to death too.
Not Marita Davis.
No.
Hank Johnson's wife is a part of that city council member too.
Which
I think shouldn't be.
She's in power too. They sorry.
I am. I'm gonna run for office.
You can run for a house because they asked me why don't I run for a house, but I'm like, you got to have a small business run for a house because you only get paid $15,000 a year.
But then, like state representative, I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to be state representative. I could be a state representative because
you do more. You get more done as a state rep.
Yeah, because I mean, Stan Watson and who else? I knew several people I knew had the position. I should have ran, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I am next time. I'm gonna run for office.
You can run for a House or Senate seat.
Can I?
Yeah, you can. I think you're doing a good job. Because I believe that we need some actual I'm a proponent. I say it all the time. We need actual change and people in place.
And then, I mean, I probably go out there and rally up a lot of people. I know I can. I know somebody probably in every subdivision. But
I mean, you know a lot of media people on top of it too. So, I mean, you can get your stuff pushed on air.
Yeah.
And they'll have your back.
I think I can. I think I can do it. People keep asking me, why don't you run, Daryl?
Yeah, because these people, they're sorry. And I tell people all the time, like, people try to argue with me about what's been done, but I'm like, you're not from here. So I'm like, how long have you been here? I'm like, I've been here, I'm 44 years old, I'm like, I've been here my entire life. So I always say, don't tell me how great my house is if I'm in one sleeping with the roaches and the rats.
Right.
And you hadn't come in and fix it up.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, let's clean up the ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We still got urban neighborhoods out there that need to be cleaned up. I mean, DeKalb County, just like all of a sudden, they stopped taking. You have last week. Everybody had big trash bags outside their one can they give them, and they decided not to take. They decided to pick these bags up. So we called to DeKalb County, all my neighbors, and they said, "Oh, we stopped that a long time ago." We said, "Well, before they pick them up, and why do I gotta get a trash man extra money to pick up my trash?" I do. I have to give them like, "Hey, here's $20 for lunch."
What? Why?
They'll take all my trash away.
Oh, if it's not in a trash can?
No, yeah, if it's in bags, plastic bags.
Oh, yeah, they don't do that. Yeah, because, I mean,
but they can, though. Come on.
I mean, they can. I mean, yes, technically they can.
Right.
But even in, like, my subdivision, it's been like that. If it's not in the trash can.
Come on, these trash cans. You know, we're black folk. We have more than just a little bit of trash.
Some people. Because, I get enough to fill it up. But you can order another trash can, too, though.
I need to do that. That's what I need to do. Just go ahead and order another can. Stop all this foolishness. So my neighbor have 2 cans.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you got that much trash, you can't get a trash can. But the problem I have with when it comes to our communities too, though, is they'll sit just random stuff out on the curb, knowing people won't pick it up. Like they'll sit old appliances out there.
Yeah, that's too much.
And I'm like, nobody's picking it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody's picking it up. You're gonna have to call. I mean, they will come pick it up, but you got to get it scheduled to come pick up.
Right.
But they don't do that. They think that somebody's going, or they throw a big couch out there, and I'm like, nobody's picking up the couch.
Nobody picking it. But then I shouldn't say that because they normally have 3 trash trucks come by. They have the regular garbage man. They have the trash man for the trees and branches.
Yeah, the mulch and stuff. Yeah.
And then they have the trash man for, I think, the plastics and stuff like that.
Recycles. Yeah.
So I guess I don't know where the furniture goes on big trucks. They should.
Yeah, I mean, you can schedule a heavy duty pickup. I mean, you got to pay for it too, though.
Right.
Okay. Like, and but people don't want to pay for it.
So that's why you get involved with your local representatives,
right?
And get involved with like the chief of police. Get to know your chief of police and everything.
Yeah, because they shady too.
Well, I get know what I just
they're shady too.
In our subdivision, every year for Halloween,
Madison been doing good though. Maddox, that's right,
Maddox.
Yeah.
I normally have 4 officers running through our neighborhood. We pay them $40 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's y'all neighborhood watch
just for Halloween.
Okay.
So also they tell me, we charge $60 an hour now because police is in high demand. I say,
they're right, but still,
you're public officials.
Yeah,
you work for us, and I gotta pay you $60 an hour.
Yeah, but they don't believe that though.
I said, wait a minute.
Especially you talking about DeKalb County too.
DeKalb County,
because I can't say that. I've met a lot of DeKalb County police officers, especially once I ran for office and really got involved in politics. I have met a lot of them.
I was involved really deeply with the police department. You know, I would go right on programs.
But it used to be bad. Like, you've been here for 20 years, it used to be bad.
Yeah, I actually rode along programs, and I actually got my vest saying, look, some kind of police stuff I did.
But you're not whipping out a fake badge, are you?
No, I actually got. They gave me a banner to put on my a sticker to put on my car saying when citizen.
Because I'm like, don't do the Herschel Walker. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not Herschel Walker people. I had a vest I put on and I couldn't have any weapons in the car. Nobody could ride with me. What I would do, I would call the police department, the local police officer, say, hey, I'm patrolling my subdivision. And so if anything go wrong, they'll be there within like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
So I did do that.
No, that's a good thing.
So I've done a lot of things.
I mean, I think we do need to start doing police in our own community.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all for, the Black Panther Party being the way they used to be and coming back to our neighborhoods again.
You like have you ever run across the Black Panther Party?
The new ones, yeah. They're highly aggressive. The newer ones are.
I actually grew up with the Black Panthers in Southern California. I mean, of course, they grew out of Northern California, but they worked their way down to Southern California. I grew up in Watts. So to walk to school, I had to be like, I think maybe fifth or sixth grade. You see the Black Panthers on the corner trying to feed the kids. They would take money. Well, my mom would say, you better not stop for them. My mom was strict.
Why?
Well, she wasn't into that.
But they were there policing the community, making sure everybody was getting...
But she wasn't into that. Like my brothers, I had older brothers and stuff like that. They was like into the Black Panthers.
I mean, but was she scared because of what it might potentially lead into dealing with the white community?
My mom was just strict.
Okay.
No, my mom went to all white school, but she's like two blacks who graduated from Venice High School in the time. But she true black. She didn't care for white folks. Just to be honest with you, she didn't care for white people at all.
I mean, most old generations didn't.
And then, even though she went to white school, but that's where her mom, they lived in Santa Monica and Venice during that time.
Right.
And that's what she said. So she had to go to high school there. So, but no, she still didn't care. She didn't care. Even when to the day she died, she didn't care for white folks.
No. I mean, but
I'm just saying, people, this is...
but I mean, I have to ask, though, can you blame them, though?
You can't, because during that time, they were during a time period of, civil rights and stuff like that.
Right. Because I'm like, even in... Like me coming out of Macon, my parents went to, segregated schools and stuff, and they got bullied and picked on by white people.
Right.
So if they have a disdain and an untrust for white people, it's like, I understand where it comes from. Like, because even when I did it, I said, oh my God, man, when I started dating outside my race, my mom was livid. Oh my God, she was livid. She swore to, and I got threatened. I did get it. She was like, oh my God, they're going to kill you. They're going to be yelling and cussing at you. They're going to be coming out. And they did just that in Gwinnett County.
Wow.
In Gwinnett County. And we was in Stone Mountain. And I was working at Office Max off of Highway 78 in close to Snellville in Gwinnett County. And this was before Gwinnett County became as diverse as it is right now. Man, I took this chick out on this date. And it was at a Longhorn. We walked in. The whole restaurant just got quiet and shut down.
And what year was this?
This was 97.
Oh, yeah. It was still big. I came visit.
It's 97.
I visited Georgia in 98, 99. No, it had to be 98 because I moved here in November 99, October 99. I moved to Georgia.
In October 99. Yeah, so you still knew then.
Yeah.
You still knew. But you got here long. I mean, you still was here. Well, you was here still. I think Freaknik was still going on for a little bit.
It was. I didn't participate in all that kind of stuff like that.
What you mean all that kind of stuff? What was wrong with Freaknik?
I didn't do anything like that. I mean, because I didn't go anywhere. I knew a few people. I just did not get involved.
I went a while, boy. He was on.
I wasn't. I mean, I was just homebody. I traveled a lot too. My job had me traveling a lot. I didn't know anybody here. I had a couple of friends here. That was it. 2 or 3.
You wasn't wild like that?
Never.
In 99?
Never. I never been wild in my life. I always been a homebody because I was always working. I always worked all the time, but I just couldn't do that.
Okay.
So no, I won't be involved with y'all freakniks out here tearing people roads up and blocking streets. And
I mean, we're just having fun.
No.
We're just having fun. It made millions of dollars for the city, though.
Yeah.
Until they shut it down. Till Bill Campbell shut it down. Everybody got pissed off at Bill Campbell, which is why he got in trouble too. But till he shut it down.
No, I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into that stuff.
Okay.
That stuff you gotta just say that. I'm still into politics though.
I mean, well, you don't have a choice but to be in politics. I mean, I think any small business owner should be involved.
But everybody not in politics. But most people politically they're not involved. They say, well, it ain't affect me. They don't know how to affect them tax wise and tax breaks and stuff like that.
Right, and that's the thing I have with the Democratic Party as far as their education goes and their platform. Right, and I mean, I've talked about it on the show too. It's like I think they purposely keep people dumbed down. Right, because if you get smart enough, then you're gonna start, because they can always say what Republicans are not doing, because we can clearly see what Republicans are not doing.
Right.
But we always vote in the black community. We've always voted Democrat because that's what we know to do.
Because that's what ancestors did.
Right.
We vote Democrat.
But then we start pulling the veil away and looking behind it. Then we'll start seeing that some of them not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And they don't want that.
Yeah, because I met a lot of Republicans. I worked with a lot of Republican older white gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Why aren't you a Republican? Because you're a business
owner." Yeah.
That's first. I was like, "What?" And they say things like that.
Yeah.
I was younger too. They said those things. I don't see why you're not a Republican.
Yeah, because if you're a small business owner, you do better to be a Democrat.
Right.
Until you start getting into, and I don't know what you're making here and other stuff you have going on. But once you start getting to like 7 figures, then it benefits you more to be a Republican.
Well, to sit there and support their ways, I still,
Yeah, because you benefit off the crap that they do.
Right. I don't have to be part of them. I just sit to benefit off of them.
Right.
No,
because my cousin, he's a starch Republican. Now he don't like the way the party is shaped right now, but he supports the Republican Party because he's a business owner.
Right.
And he owns multiple properties that he rents out. So whenever a Republican's in office, he makes a ton of money.
Yeah, but that's what they're saying now, that the rates and the gas hike. I mean, it's going to happen anyway. This economy, you know what I'm saying?
I think they do it on purpose, though.
I think so too, because they didn't. I feel like they didn't have to raise those interest rates up like they did.
Because there's no. I don't believe there's a real recession right now.
I don't think so either.
They're just doing it they're in their way to call themselves stabilizing the market.
Right.
Because if you had corporations how can you say there's a recession going on when you have corporations that are $1 trillion companies now?
Right.
You have gas companies that are making multi-billion dollars in the midst of a pandemic. So you got all this stuff going around, and then buying power is up, which means because if they're billions, if they're making billions and trillions of dollars, that means people are purchasing products and goods from those companies.
Right.
Which means people have money to spend.
And they giving millions, during the COVID, they gave billions of dollars away.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars away to people who didn't even, they get the money.
To people who didn't what?
They didn't deserve it.
Why they didn't deserve it?
I can't say why, but I know why. The government gave these millions and millions of dollars to people with grants. I'm not even talking about the EIDL or PPP loans.
You talking about business owners? Or you talking about just regular citizens?
Business owners.
Okay.
Business owners open back.
Oh, absolutely.
They said, we're going to open back up the country. We're going to give all these restaurants, they had different kind of loans, grants. Not loans, grants.
Yeah, great. They have to pay
up
back.
to $10 million and gave people's money, and all of a sudden, they got some money and the business closed.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No, but they gave it to corporations too, and they weren't supposed to give it to corporations.
No, it wasn't. See, but then the government, they did this so fast, it just didn't work right, I don't think.
But see, now you're coming back, but you're not penalizing the corporations the government, not penalizing corporations they gave money to. They're penalizing the average citizen.
Right.
Rightfully so. But my thing is, if you're going to penalize one, then you penalize all. Because they had one corporation out of Texas. It was a huge multi-million-dollar corporation, but they broke up their departments into small businesses, like 4 or 5 different small businesses, and they end up getting like $10 million.
It is like, we'll say here, my business. You have Kluster Media Corporation. Mm-hmm. Then you have like 9 other companies underneath there.
They have separate EINs?
They do. Oh yeah, it's like that. You break them down into companies that way. That's normal in most businesses like that. That's how big corporations work. They
do. I did get you have subsidiaries of the main company.
You do. You have the main company. You have subsidiaries underneath that company.
Yeah, but still, not to where you gonna secure all of.
No, that's wrong. Yeah, you say, hey, we're gonna get 10 different loans.
Because they took all the money to where the small business owner couldn't get any of it.
Right. It was hard. It was really hard to get money.
And then, of course, granted, you had people that got it and then they ended up buying Lambos and stuff.
Right.
And closing business down.
Which is really wrong.
But so I have no problem with people working the system the way other people work the system. I don't want to be held accountable for it either.
Yeah,
I would say that all day. I don't care if it's wrong, but the way these corporations get away with doing stuff to people, like people get mad, so we don't want people giving handouts. We don't want people having handouts. We don't give them free money. But I'm like, we build corporations out and countries out and never get it back.
All the time.
And I don't hear anybody complaining about that.
It's all the time. But hey, that's why we have to get in office to stop some of this stuff.
Yeah, good luck with that. Because they don't want you talking bad about them. That's why I catch so much. That's why I got a scarlet letter written on my chest. Because I hold people accountable.
Yeah, you can't do that. If you want to win.
No, I can't. Right. Like I had one guy. He went to Harvard too. No, he went to Stanford for political science, and he helped out candidates. And he was like, "Well, you can't be saying the quiet stuff out loud." I'm like, "It's just BS, though." Yeah. I'm like, if it's because I'm like, I can't sit here and watch people suffer.
Right.
And I know people because I went through it myself. Because I went through all those things. I went through homeless and all that stuff myself. And I can't watch people sit here and suffer. And you want me to sit here and play the game and kiss somebody's behind just so I can get in power.
It's unfortunate. It's a game of life, and it's about name recognition. But then you have to be. Once you get a grassroots going out there, letting people know who you are, doing things, help build, make up the community. But you got to be out there starting now,
right?
For the next 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm running for office again.
Yeah. So like now, hey, it's 2022. If I'm gonna run for any kind of, I'm not sure if next year the state representative run or not.
It depends on the seat.
Yeah, you have to say, okay, what do I do? You can start running now. Get yourself out there in the street. Go.
Yeah.
And I just don't like. I'm type of person. I don't want to go to churches and sit there and fake and say, hey, I want to come to church and talk to y'all now when I know I'm not coming back to y'all.
But they play that game too, though.
They do because because I'm gonna get the churches want to help.
Yeah, because they have their candidates they support.
Right.
And they will shun you all day, every day.
But then again, but like let's say in radio, let's say a Democrat came to the station, we gave them 10 minutes to talk. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to get a Republican. You're supposed to. You're supposed to. Mm-hmm. So they can say, well, I want 10 minutes to talk too. So I think it should be the same way at the church.
I agree. It should. Or you don't get involved at all.
Right.
But they don't.
But then again, most of the Republicans come to there.
No, well, not even that, though. Like, I'm going to use me for instance, in DeKalb County.
Okay.
So I was asking these churches, can I come through there and talk? Oh, no, we support Hank. But I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, but you support Hank. What about your members?
Right.
All you members, they need to know the truth about Hank.
Right.
Who ever told them the truth about Hank?
Nobody.
Nobody ever told. Nobody ever told the truth about Hank.
No, because they feel a certain way. Well, like I've had so many people tell me, like especially elected officials tell me how they feel about him, but they won't ever say it out. It's a quiet thing they won't say out loud,
right? Because
they don't want to get any flack from their peers. But I'm like, if it's the truth, if we have why do we hold other people to a certain standard and we don't hold ourselves to the same standard?
That's true.
So when it comes down to police, we say if it's one bad apple, it's all bad apples because the good ones aren't holding the bad ones accountable. So I'm like, well, why is it not the same thing in our part? And that's the only thing I ask for is equal and it's fair across the board. That's the only thing I stand by in my business as a my business stuff on top of in politics. I'm like, if you're holding one group accountable, we should be holding ourselves on the same standards too.
But we don't do it.
No, absolutely no, we don't.
So this is going to be interesting.
And that's the issue I have when it comes to like Stacey. I'm very vocal about Stacey. Because to me, Stacey don't have to do much of nothing because Stacey's been working.
Right.
Everybody knows who Stacey Abrams is.
She do. She's
bounced around all the late night shows. Everybody know who the hell Stacey is.
Uh-huh.
So, but the problem I've been having lately is when she's out campaigning, she's not speaking for the local candidates. No. And even her canvassers aren't giving out lit for the local candidates.
That's the crazy thing right there. You think she'd be on the front page, but she have all the other candidates on the back page and flip page.
Right.
But she won't do it.
She doesn't do it. And I don't understand why not. Because it's one thing I told another guy. I'm like, I'm all for what it means to have her in place.
Right.
I'm all for that 100%. I love to see change. Like I said, I've been here my whole life. All I see was white men as governors. And I don't care if it is white, long as it's somebody that's helping the actual people out.
Right.
But she can't do anything if we don't have any form of power. We don't have any house. Because, granted, we can't get everything. But we still need to do as much as we can to flip the seats over so we can get some power in the House and the Senate.
We don't have hearings locally. We don't have no kind of power in the House of Georgia. Nothing.
Because it costs, you don't get paid enough to run for those seats. So you can't convince enough people to get out and run because it's like, well, if I run and I get the seat, then how am I supposed to survive? Yeah,
because it was like $1 million to get those seats here in the state.
It can, certain areas, it can get up to $1 million to run that campaign.
It's a lot of money. And then you got to go out there and say, okay, who gonna support you? And I believe I could go out there and find people to support.
You'll get support, but as I say, you can do it because you have a small business.
What does that mean, though?
Well, you have outside money coming in. Because most people, like when they're telling me,
I have a job.
You do have a job, but you have a flexible job,
right?
Because don't you typically? Well, I'm not gonna put your business.
Yeah,
out there.
we can't tell.
We're not putting your business out there. But you have a regular job. Now, me and my job, they said, "We want you to." I said, "I can't do it because my job would be a conflict of interest because my company receives corporate subsidies and stuff. Not corporate. I mean federal subsidy. So I'm like, for me to run, I ultimately can make decisions that would affect the state of the company that I work for.
I would have to give up my job.
You probably would.
No, I would. I would have to give up my job.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I probably, if I did it.
But you would, but the benefit of what you would gain on the back end would benefit you more.
Right.
Because you start getting more notoriety. So what does it mean for notoriety for your business? That means you get more listeners coming in. People want to come in and actually participate and actually give money to your company.
Right. And then,
so you might lose it from one end, but you would gain it from the other end from you just getting out running for office.
And then I know more. I can sit there and speak on this is what I did for my job. I can use that.
Right.
Because I know what was going on inside somewhat.
Yeah, and that's why the guy that I support now, that's why he ran for a House seat. Because he has a nonprofit that he helps. He has a nonprofit called Gwinnett Chat. And it's to help out youth and undeserved youth, underprivileged youth in certain areas in Gwinnett County. And it's like, so he decided to run because the seat was going unopposed.
Right.
But he has a successful small business.
Okay.
But if you have a regular full-time job, but they do it on purpose though.
Yeah, it's really kind of sad. You can't have a full-time job. Well, then again, I mean, I knew state representatives who ran, you know, here in Georgia and just south of DeKalb County. I can say, I think not Lee May, but Stan Watson. He ran, and what's the guy that came in after him? I cannot think of his name. Young brother, Brady's son. I can't think of his name. But anyway, cause he was a loan officer, but he ran. But he was gonna win because nobody wanted to run. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I got another guy like that out in Gwinnett. He's running because nobody wanted. He ran unopposed, and then a Republican that he was going up against, he ended up getting indicted and arrested.
Wow!
So it's like that's the seat just guaranteed to go to him.
It's crazy. So yeah, I figured maybe one day I will run for office.
I think if you care about change and you active in the community, I think you should run because the goal don't, and it's going to take a lot of time too. That's the other thing. So if you, depending on what kind of job you have, like I know people that's actually in office and they're like professors, but that's different.
Right.
Because, the school will work with you on that.
Exactly. But then my kind of job say, well, they say, no, you can't run for political office. You have to get out of there.
Yeah, they'll lay me off real quick. And I make too much money to get laid off and trying to get something else going.
It means a lot. You say, okay, I'm giving them my good job, but then again, say, hey, this is a chance you're going to take. This is running a small business. Yeah. You're taking a chance anyway. Say, hey, I'm taking a chance of running for this office and willing to give up my job for this.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I kind of got frustrated too, because a lot of people are saying, like when I was running, oh, well, you should be out doing this and not be doing that. And I'm like, I have a job. I'm like, I have 2 kids in college that I have to take care of. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I ran for office, but I'm like, it's kind of a little bit unfair for you to be like, I need to be out and I should be more active during the day. And I'm like, I can't do that because I go clock in clock in, but I still work for somebody else. Right.
So yeah, but it is. So I think I'm going to do it. So if you guys want to, you got to start at a grassroots level. You got to go to the local level.
You do.
You got to
raise some funds. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember at one time, I'm in DeKalb County. Somebody came into my community, wanted to change the zoning to an R75 to build smaller houses, and they said, well, they came and drew plans. They gave art because the county officials said you need to go talk to Daryl. Mm-hmm. And because I was right across the street from our subdivision. Well, they brought me hot dogs and sodas and stuff like that. But I told them when the meet time to come, they called me. I was out in Florida working. They said, what are you going to do? I said, we don't want it. Right. Because, they got mad. The attorney said, we gave you hot dogs and soda. I said, what? You trying to think black folk? You can sell me with a hot dog and a soda? Right. It's a red drink. Yeah, it's a red drink. No, red cream soda. They did. It's like that. People really believed in that. And so it didn't happen. Anyway, fast forward about 3 years ago, there's another subdivision, which is a crop they built. And I hate to say this, it's a cheaper version of homes. And there's another plot of land right across the street from them. And I missed that meeting. Do you know, them folks and talked to them people over there, said, we're going to give y'all something if you help vote to get this street rezoned to R75. And they did. Yeah, the city council's going to be, not all of them. And, and people in black communities, they're going to bring in many houses they can in there. A small house in there now. Bring more kids in there now, and People don't want that. People want neighborhoods, nice neighborhoods.
Yeah, because I don't like the new house they build now that costs like $500,000, but you can technically reach over and touch your neighbor's house.
Right.
I hate so because when we was growing up, when you got here, if you paid $200,000 for a house, you got a 1/4 acre lot, if not a half an acre.
I did.
I'm like, you don't get that nowadays.
You don't. You got a nice size house. I mean, actually about 265. You got a 5,000 square foot home, brand new.
Yeah.
But you can't get that now.
No, my first house, I bought it for $160. It was 3,500 square feet.
That's a nice size house.
Yeah. You can't to get a house that size now. That's gonna cost you anywhere from $375 to over $400.
I have a nephew buying a house now, paying like $270. I'm like, this ain't the best neighborhood.
Yeah, because
1,400 square feet
for $270.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Off River Road.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like shocked, but then
that's why I'm like, I wouldn't buy a house. I wouldn't buy a house now. Like, it's crazy. That's why people having regret now that bought houses during the pandemic, right, or this year alone, they having regret because I'm like, it wasn't worth it. It's not worth it as much.
It's not.
And they're using cheap, like my house I just got. They used cheap materials in the house. I'm like, because of the pandemic, we didn't have access to the good stuff. So the paint is trash. Some of the woodwork they did around there is horrible.
Wow.
But the house costs a lot of money.
And I'm thinking about saying, maybe I could rent my house out for like $3,000 a month, and
you get it. That's cheap.
It is cheap. My mortgage is dirt cheap.
Yes, you get it.
So my mortgage is dirt cheap. So I can say I can take a couple $1,000s, and because my mortgage is like $900 a month.
Yes, yeah.
And I can go get a house and say I rent my 30,
a lot of older people. Yeah, because we had good rates.
Yeah, and I mean, it was better. It's different. It's called modification, people, if you know what modification is.
Yeah.
And I did a great modification, and I'm a master modification person. Mm-hmm. And when you time need, you have to do what you got to do. But yeah, I said, hey, if I get like $2,500 excess money, I take that and get me another house or something like that, buy me another house. Then what am I gonna get for my money though?
I mean,
I'm gonna go buy like
technically, like it's a 3-story house.
It is.
You can break it up into apartments.
Yeah, and yeah, I definitely can.
I mean, you just put locks between the floors.
Yeah, I can't do that though, money. It's a subdivision.
I mean, yeah, your neighbors wouldn't necessarily.
It's rules, subdivision, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Is it a part of your bylaws?
It is. So a certain percentage, but of course, I was like,
So they do allow rental property.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a certain percentage. I mean, we need to copy your lease and stuff like that to see, because we still kick you out.
Okay.
So yeah, we definitely need that.
I think there's opportunity for everything, but I do think you should run though.
I will.
Because if I had something going, I would never say I wouldn't run for a House seat. The reason I ran for a federal seat because of what the earnings you got paid from it. But if I had something potentially like in the next couple of years.
So you're talking like state representative or a different House seat, just a regular House seat?
Yeah, I would run for. But see, that's the thing I got mad with people too, because everybody was like, you should run for a House seat. You'll definitely get it because you got the support. So I'm like, okay, tell me who you want me to kick out. Because I was like, that's what it boils down to. Tell me who you want me to kick out. Because I was like, you don't want me running against Hank. Okay, cool, fine, bet. Who you want me to kick out on the House level? Because I'm like, everybody within the political arena, they're all cool. So which one of your peers you want me to go after and take them out? So
you basically have to go in there basically and say, hey, I'm on my own. And I'm gonna pull it. I got to go in here as a fresh person and say, hey, I got some new ideas.
Yeah.
Because I
can argue against it. Because especially some of our local people, especially DeKalb County and Lithonia area.
Right.
I'm not even going to say who their rep is.
Yeah.
They would love to see her gone. They will, but there's nobody that's challenging her.
I say, I've been the HOA president for 20 years. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Then I give back to the community all the time. I say, even with the radio station, I have a lot of young people. Who else gonna say they have that? They're not doing that kind of stuff.
No. I actually got some people that's actually interested in your interns too. I need to talk to you about it.
Okay. Yeah, but it is. So I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah, because if you want, like a lot of people go for the federal. I don't know why. Well, I know why I did it, but a lot of people go for the federal seats. I mean, yeah, it's good for clout, but like impactful change, it takes place on a local level.
Right.
Like if you really want to make some change, even if you want to be grimy and get money off of it, it happens on the local level. I mean, realistically, it happens on a local level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The state representative didn't make that much change, though. You think? But I think Stan Watson did when he was running for state representative.
If you're a Democrat, no, because we don't control anything.
Right.
You can push for bills to get passed, and you can sponsor bills, which is the other thing too. Because I'm like, I get it if you can't get something passed, but you can let people know what you're sponsoring or co-sponsoring with some of your peers in office. Because at least let me know that you are doing your job. Right. And my dollars are going towards you actually in the working, as opposed to, well, I can't pass anything because we don't have no power.
That's really sad.
It is sad.
It's sad here in Georgia, of all places.
Yeah. And then when your South DeKalb area, I get mad at your councilman because they hold meetings at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, there ain't no working class person going to be able to make it out here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
You talking about the county officials?
Yeah.
The county commissioners?
Yeah.
And I think one time they have them at 6 o'clock in the evening time. I used to go to a couple of meetings.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. If they have it at 6:30, I'm cool with that.
Right, but they ain't having it. They have it in the
morning. No, they got it in the
change.
morning now. Yeah, and it's like the only people that show up are people that's in North DeKalb.
Wow.
And the people that get stuff done, people that's in North DeKalb.
The older people, older than them.
Nah, it's not even older. It's like it's lawyers that show up. Like it's people that have their own like doctors. They're in there arguing for stuff because they get it. They like in the North Lake area around North Lake. What is it? La Vista Road.
Oh God, yeah.
Tucker. Like, especially in the Dunwoody area. I mean, they always get stuff passed because they show up. And you might get one retiree that shows up for the south end of DeKalb County, and she can't. But what makes me mad is, though, the majority of those commissioners, they're I'm going to go ahead and say they're black.
They are.
So I'm like, so why is it okay with you allowing certain development and the same type of development within the black community, which is in the south end of DeKalb County, but you won't allow it in the north end?
That's true.
Because the same thing, we have so many wing stops, just wing restaurants in general. We have a ton of Sally's or the beauty supply places. We have a ton of like the nail stores and stuff.
And the cleaning, you have a beauty salon, a beauty salon, a beauty supply store, and a nail shop. Yeah. Shopping plazas.
Every plaza,
you have that for sure.
And you can cut down on that because they won't allow it on the north end.
I mean, you on 3 corners. 4 corners and Flakes Mills and West Chapel Flakes Mill on Candler Road. Mm-hmm. 4 cleaners right there.
And when you go down Candler Road and then you get on especially Memorial Drive, like I get so mad when I go up and down Memorial Drive. I was like, why does Memorial Drive look the same way as it looked when I was in high school?
But that's over on that side, over across the what do you call it? The 285. Yeah. But if you go back down going toward Moreland. It's going through
gentrification. Yeah, because you had East Lake Meadows over there. Yeah, this now a big golfer community.
Yeah, so it's changed now.
Yeah,
Memorial Drive. Said, God, people live on Memorial Drive, nice houses and stuff like that, and white folks walking down the walkways. And
I have a good friend that lives over there now too. She has a community farm that she has in the area, and I'm like, wow. I said, you wouldn't even be able to live over here. Like some years ago, like you wouldn't even been allowed over here.
It's crazy. I mean, I just seen the change because I was living here. I watched that change. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was projects over there.
It was, yeah.
They tore the projects down, put a park.
You had Carbon Homes. East Lake Meadows was terrible. East Lake Meadows was called Little Vietnam. There was a whole bunch of them over there, and I'm all for. I am all for gentrification to a certain degree, right? Especially when we get new business coming to the area. As long as everybody is included in it and they can benefit off the wealth that's coming in,
right? But
it don't happen. No, because that's why I had a problem with. I'm gonna say it now. I had a problem with Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he was you weren't here. You was here.
You said Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay.
You was here doing.
I wasn't here when Thurgood Marshall was here. When was this?
Was it Thurgood? Yeah, it's
Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall wasn't living here.
No, it wasn't Thurgood Marshall. It was what is his name?
John. No.
No. I'm talking about the mayor of Atlanta.
Was Hartfield Jackson? Andrew Young. He wasn't.
No, Andrew. Yeah, no, was it Andrew Young? Whoever the mayor was, I'm my bad. Yeah, I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a brain fart from the Olympics. But whoever the mayor was for the Olympics,
right?
And it was a black mayor. But we had Olympics coming because it happens in every major country. So whenever every major country get the Olympics, they always put it for whatever reason they tend to put it in the slum areas.
Yeah,
and I get it as a means to clean it up because you get extra money that's coming in.
Right.
So he was given a ton of money to clean up and get it ready for the Olympics. But he had to move those housing projects out of there, like the Carver homes and all the rest of the homes around there. But the plan was given to him to where he could move them out into the suburbs. And then he would utilize some of that federal dollars to put them into trade programs or whatever else, so they could have jobs living in those areas. Well, he didn't do that. He kicked them out. He kept the money, and in the development he did in certain parts of the city where he put up townhomes, he did like a mixed development to where it was it would be 60% new people coming in that had money,
Right.
and then it would be 40% people that used to live in the area. Well, it didn't come down to that. It can end up being like 10% because everybody applied for it that lived over there.
Right.
And he only granted it to like 6 or 7 people.
Wow.
And they got some of the money. But then outside of that, he didn't allow anybody else in.
That's crazy.
Right, but he gets all this praise and stuff. And I'm like...
And that is true about the, they already put the Olympics in the urban neighborhoods, even in LA. I remember 1976 when the Olympics came to LA. Of course, that was like technically South Central. And they had, of course, the Coliseum is located in South Central. But now they're coming back again. And it's going to be the same thing again. It's going to be totally different again.
I mean, look what happened in Brazil.
Yep, it's going to be the same thing happening again.
Yeah, they cleared out all of Brazil. Because not all of it, but they had like the ocean was dirty because they had waste and all this stuff in the ocean. They cleared all that out, kicked all the people out their houses in the middle of nowhere to give them no other options, so they could set up the Olympics there.
Wow.
So we got so we're gonna wrap it up. So you want to about some closing remarks?
Hey, I have no closing remarks. You guys remember, you got to go out there and vote. It's early voting in Georgia. Please go out there and vote, vote, and vote for them. I mean, study what you're voting for, you guys.
Listen to Kluster Radio.
Yeah, and listen.
Kluster Radio has some new space in here that he wants to start renting out. You gonna shout out the radio?
Oh yeah, hey, if you ever want space to rent out your Kluster Radio, Kluster Live studios, you can go follow us at clusterlive.com and check out our new spaces and stuff here in our new studio. Also, it's winning and wind down networking I think it's third Friday. It's this Friday here at the Kluster Live studio. Go to Eventbrite and type in Kluster Live.
Yeah, he has the space you can see all behind us now. This is not a normal studio space. So if you want to come in, do a podcast, or you're in the music industry, you want to start cutting your rap songs or whatever, because we're in Atlanta, everybody rappers, or they sing some R&B.
They are.
But he has a space in here for that. If you want to do a podcast, he has a podcast up in here. So I'm shouting Daryl out because Daryl allowed me to come here and do my thing. He even has business space for you to come over here and rent out, and you can record auto sessions. And even while you're doing your show here, you can watch it live on some of the screens that he has around the studio. So yeah, y'all check out Kluster Radio. For me personally, get out, get involved. I was saying it on one of my reels yesterday on my Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at Mr_Antonio Hicks. I mean, same thing on my Facebook is Antonio Hicks. But get out and get involved. If you care about anything in your community, and if you have any gripes about anything in your community, the only way you can make effective change is you actually be involved in the process itself. Flat out, ain't no other clean way of saying it. Stop letting these people come and sell y'all snake oil. Get out in the community, get out and vote, and make effective change in your community. So thank y'all for tuning in.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This went by fast too, you guys.
It did go by when you having a good conversation.
It did. It was a good conversation.
So y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Love you all. Peace out.
Peace.